It is finals week at Eden Hill School, and the library is staying open until midnight to accommodate the rush of students. For one student, the tall stacks of books and silent desks provide the perfect environment for a long night of cramming. Because the student lives just a short walk away, staying late feels like a practical choice. The proximity to home acts as a mental safety net, making the late hour seem less risky than it actually is. Usually, they pack up by 8 when other students are still shuffling around. But when they finally look up from their notes tonight, the clock reads exactly 10. The library has fallen into a total heavy silence. In a space this large, that level of silence starts to feel heavy. Without the background noise of other people, the brain stops focusing on the page and begins to monitor the shadows for the slightest sound. Then, a noise cuts through the quiet. It's an uneven, dragging sound, the distinct rhythm of someone limping through the aisles just out of sight. There is no hesitation. The student drops their books and runs, leaving everything behind to get out of the empty room as fast as possible. In a crowded library, the long rows of bookshelves are just a place to study. But once the lights are low and the building is empty, those same aisles become a maze of blind corners where someone could be waiting. The student sprints through the school's long, dark corridors. Every echoing footstep feels like it's being followed as they head for the main exit doors. At the far end of the hallway, a woman is standing perfectly still. She is positioned right in front of the exit, a motionless silhouette against the glass. Desperate to know if she's real, the student calls out to her. But within seconds of speaking, the figure is gone, leaving the hallway completely empty again. The student bursts outside, but the relief is short-lived. The street, which is normally busy even late at night, is strangely abandoned. There are no cars, no open shops, and no one else in sight. Walking down the center of an empty city street creates a different kind of dread. There are no doors to lock and no one to hear a call for help. Every open space feels like a place to be spotted. Leaving the school building only trades a cramped hallway for an exposed road. Without the school walls to offer a sense of enclosure, the threat now has the entire neighborhood to move through. Walking with their head down, the student sees a shadow on the ground stretching out toward them from behind, though the street appears empty. They look up and see her. A woman in tattered, dirty clothes is walking just ahead. Her hands and feet are visibly twisted, and she moves with a pained, difficult gait. Her speed makes no sense. Despite her slow, limping pace, she manages to stay right in front of the student, closing the gap until she is only a few feet away. The student freezes. Their mind goes numb as the woman stops and asks a question that doesn't quite make sense in the middle of a dark street. Terrified and unable to think, the student simply points as far away as possible, hoping to lure her away from their path home. The woman limps toward the distant point. The student turns and runs at full speed, but a second later, a scream tears through the air. She is here. The shock of the scream is the final straw. The student's vision blurs, and they collapse onto the pavement, losing consciousness. The student wakes up at home. A neighbor found them unconscious on the ground and carried them back to safety. But the story doesn't end there. In 1998, a woman named Agatha lived nearby. Her 10-year-old daughter attended Eden Hill School, but while playing with friends, she had a fatal accident. Agatha never recovered. She spent her life and afterlife returning to the spot where her daughter died. The twisted figure on the street wasn't a predator looking for a victim. It was Agatha, caught in a cycle of grief, keeping her tethered to the school grounds. That strange question and the final piercing scream were the sounds of a mother who has been searching for her child for decades and is still coming up empty. The streets around Eden Hill are more than just a commute for the students. They are the site of a tragedy that hasn't ended, turning the simple walk home into a path through someone else's permanent nightmare.